Good morning, welcome.
Yes.
Start.
Okay, wait a minute. I just want to make sure all of the speakers here are functioning their own PPT, right? If you are having trouble, please make sure you use the chat room. So perhaps I can help with the PPT. Thank you. Yes, Katarina Nora.
Okay.
You can
Start our breakout room. So good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly?
It is clear now.
Okay, so welcome to the breakout room C. I'm Katarina Marianora, and I will be the moderator for this breakout room C. Today we will have distinguished speakers, which divided into 3 sessions. Each speaker will be given 15 minutes to present their PPT, and there will be question and answer session at the end of the session for 15 minutes. Without any further ado, I will call our first speakers. Miss Arya Jati, are you there?
Miss Katarina,
Yes.
It looks like I'm having a technical issue with the PPT. My PPT went disarray, like it went everywhere. Like it's not ready to be shared screen right now. Can I go to the next one? I'm facing it. I'm put it in a proper in a more proper order so that it will read easily for the audience later in the presentation. Can I please take some more time to fix it? It went disarray. I'm really sorry about this. Maybe it's because different office series, but I'm still working on it.
Okay, that's fine. Just tell me if you are ready with your PPT.
All right, Ms. Katarina, I will.
So I will move to our next speaker, Miss Senia Ratna.
Yes.
Share your screen to show us your PPT.
Can you see my PPT?
Yes, we can. Okay, you may start. You have 15 minutes.
Perhaps
Okay,
Ms. Senia can introduce herself first, where she is from.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Senia Ratna Nantia. I'm from Semarang. I'm a English department student from Yogyakarta Catholic University, and today I would like to present my research. The title of my research is Women's Beauty Image in Indonesian Local TV Cosmetic Advertisement. And this research was advised by Ms. Angelica Riandari as my major sponsor and Ms. Dr. D.R.A. Ekawati Martini as my co-sponsor. So the background, ethnic diversity in Indonesia makes a difference in understanding the values and traditions of skin-colored beauty. A phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, that is often said when talking about beauty represents the idea that the perception of beauty is subjective because a person's judgment can vary from one to another. Beauty is used as a medium to promote cosmetics and other beauty products. Saputra 2018 confirms that the public view of beauty is mostly shaped by what has been portrayed by the mass media, especially advertisements or films. Advertising holds an important control in how a product represents the image of female beauty. In beauty product advertisements, they show women that represent the image of beauty according to the company's standards. Nuriani, 2010 and 8, page 2. Television is used as an advertising medium because it can it can show the audio like the picture and audio like a film. Fabiana et al. 2015 said that through television advertised product is considered to be well visualized and uh, uh, it to be well visualized. Definition of terms. The image of female beauty is a representation of women caused by vision and thought, which is related to the physical appearance or the outer look of female beauty, a female body. Unita et al. 2019, page 94. Local brands are generally defined as available in one country or in a narrow geographical area. Although this brand may be owned by a local, international, or global firm. Unit at all 2014 page 104. Advertisement, a non-personal communication to represent and promote product, service, or ideas which are paid by a specific sponsor. It was designed from the brand, endorsed, and messages. Latriana 2018, page 363. Research methodology. In collecting the data for this study, the writer applied qualitative research. Qualitative research is an approach for exploring and understanding the meaning individuals or groups ascribe to social or human problems. Creswell 2014, page 32. In this study, the author found 5 local Indonesian cosmetic brands with 12 products with advertisements were shown on MTV, Indosiar, and Trans TV channels. The author chose these 5 local brands because only these brands have been promoting their products through television advertisements. The 5 brands are currently promoting a total of 12 products on television. The discussion. Wardah is a local Indonesian cosmetic brand under Paragon Technology and Innovation. Wardah has found until now, Wardah is known as the only cosmetic that claims its products are halal. This product advertisement shows two women. One person is wearing a hijab, and one other person is not wearing a hijab. The two women are depicted as spending their daily life in front of the gadget screen. The advertisement states that the blue light from the gadget can cause the face to become dull. Wardah UV Shield Aqua Fresh Essence. Aqua Fresh Essence is the newest sunscreen product from Wardah. Unlike the previous advertisement, in this advertisement there is only one model who wears a hijab. Wardah Hydra Rose. Wardah recently released new product, the Hydra Rose series. This water product is advertised on Indonesian TV stations as a product that upholds the value of beauty advertisement. Wardah used a model wearing hijab again, but there is also the model that does not wear hijab. Wardah lightening with facial wash. Like the previous Wardah advertisement, their product is again advertised on local TV using two models. Although the concept of the model in the advertisement is always the same, one person wears the hijab while the other does not, Wardah always uses a different model for its advertisement. Wardah Perfect Bright series. Not only producing decorative makeup products with its Perfect product series. This product series was first launched in 2018. As can be seen in the advertisement, Wardah shows two models with different dress styles. One of the models is seen wearing a hijab, while the other one is not wearing a hijab. In general, the image of beauty represented in by Wardah is women with tall, white, and slim bodies. Instead of blonde hair, because the advertisements are for Indonesian women, the hair color represented is healthy black hair. It seems that these five advertisements represent Wardah products that show beauty according to Islamic teachings. The advertisements always show a female figure wearing a hijab and full covered body clothes that do not show body curve. Through the five advertisements, Wardah wants to show the image of female beauty that Muslim women can still be beautiful even if they wear the hijab, because beauty does not always come from outside or physically. Beauty can also radiate from within. Emina is the newest brand from PT Paragon Technology in their formula. The formula is light but still pigmented. Okay, so I will continue. Emina creates stuff for active brown skin. As can be seen from the advertisement snippet below, in this product advertisement, Emina uses a model of a teenage girl who looks happy because she looks beautiful and can use makeup without having to worry about acne prone skin. Emina wants to show that those with acne prone skin can now wait a minute. Okay, Emina bread stuff sheet mask. Through a series of bread stuff, Emina wants to show that although currently most activities are carried out at home, it is still possible to take care of the facial skin and look beautiful. The three female teenage models in the advertisement look happy because they can still look beautiful after using Emina's face mask.
Sorry. Yes, can you share your screen again because it's missing. Thank you.
Can you see it now?
Not yet. Can you try it again?
You see?
Okay, we can see.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, I will continue. In this advertisement, Emina still used the same female model from the previous advertisement. The previous advertisement, Bread Stuff series, like the previous Bread Stuff product, Emina emphasized that again that even though all activities are in the house, girls can still take care of their facial skin to keep it looking beautiful, fresh, and avoid all facial problems. Through their advertisement, Emina has established their own women's beauty image that fits Mulan 2017's criteria of women's beauty image, that beautiful women are those who are flawless from head to toe. have slim body, with skin, and are tall. Just that, according to Emina, beauty is free from all kinds of facial problems, as explained by Tetsawan et al. 2016, that treating facial health from an early age is very important for skin health in the future because it can slow down the aging process of the skin and all the other facial skin problems. In addition, Emina also shows that young girls are always seen wearing colorful, girly, cute clothes and dominated by pastel colors, especially pink. MS Glow Beauty. MS Glow is a local brand that presents a range of skincare for Indonesian women. Established in 2013, MS Glow is owned by two friends, namely Sandi Purnamasari and Maharani Kamala, who saw the needs of Indonesian women carefully and succeeded in presenting a complete range of facial treatments. MS Glow is a brand that sells cosmetics, skincare, and body care. The product has received a PPOM certificate so that its safety has been proven. MS Glow Whitening Gold Serum. From the advertisement snippet, MS Glow used an adult female model. The model looked happy because her face looked beautiful after using the serum product from MS Glow. In the advertisement, it is also emphasized that even though the model is in an outdoor place, she does not need to worry because her face has been protected by the serum she used. Through the
Okay, Miss
advertisement,
Zenia, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
finalize your presentation? Your time
ma'am.
is almost finished.
Okay, I will skip it into the conclusion. The five Indonesian local brands display the image of female beauty that is almost the same, but quite different because it displays the characteristics of each product. Wardah represents the image of beauty by using a female model wearing hijab because Wardah wants to show that beauty does not always come from outside, but beauty can also come from within. Femina represents the image of female beauty by using a young female model. The image of a woman's beauty, according to Emina, is a teenage girl who has healthy facial skin without acne, black hair, and oily skin. MS Glow chose middle-aged women as their market target. The image of women's beauty, according to MS Glow, is someone with high self-confidence and without facial skin problems. The image of women's beauty, according to Priva Cosmetics, is someone who looks beautiful and attractive when she has moist, bright, and fresh facial skin. And lastly, according to YOU Cosmetics, a beautiful woman is someone who has clean, fresh facial skin and has a useful face. Through advertisements on television, these five local brands try to convince Indonesian women that their products have been tested and can help Indonesian women to meet the beauty image. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Zenia. That's a very good presentation. Okay, I will move to our next presentation from Miss Fabiola. Are you here?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course. Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Okay, you may start, Miss Fabiola.
So good morning, the lecturers and friends. My name is Fabiola Putri Haryani from Sukiya Pranoto Catholic University in Faculty Language and Art. So today I will present my paper. The title is Cultural Hybrid in Selected Indonesia, fashion advertisement. And this presentation is arranged by me and helped by Dr. Ekawati Maheri Diput Magister of Law and Angelica Triandani SSMA Philosophy Doctor. So the first I move to the introduction. Social media is an inseparable part of modern society. With various social media available such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and others, we can deepen out knowledge and get to know information for various parts of the world. Especially YouTube media. YouTube is a media platform that we can access to view various videos, one of which is beauty advertisements. In beauty advertising, various trends come in advertising preference. This is to the globalization, which has resulted in various elements of global culture being mixed into one. One of the globalization beauty product is fashion. And the fashion products are well known in various countries, including Indonesia. And as a multinational product, Vaseline uses a strategy of prioritizing local culture from Indonesia. However, global culture is mixed in as a Vaseline identity is not disappear. One of them is forming by hybrid culture between local culture and global culture to be accepted by Indonesian people. And the next problem formulation is what kind of local and global aspects were evident in Indonesia fashion advertisement. And the next is review of literature. There are three review of literature. The first is cultural hybrid in advertising. In developing of the advertising era, that must be closely related to globalization, which makes of culture in it. The fact global culture influenced wrestling advertising. The discourse of globalization caused people to consume the same global culture together. This global culture influenced that representation that advertising wants to form. This has led to emerge of conflicts between global and local identities. For example, following by Milan and Feixa 2019, said hybridization is a process of cultural interaction between local and global. On the other hand, hybridization is a process of cultural transaction that reflect how global culture is assimilated in locally and how non-Western impact upon the West. And the second is popular culture in beauty. Beauty standard has concept become a popular culture. Aprilita and Listiani said in 2016 said that the concept of beauty circulating in media makes the public view beauty into one taste, such as having slim body, white skin, black hair, and a sharp nose. The beauty trend has spread, including in Indonesia, because a mixture of local culture and culture from the outside, including from Eastern culture. And the third is Indonesian beauty advertisement. According to POSPA, the media has an essential role in the influencing Asia beauty trends, which is associated with having fair skin. This is because in Indonesia, there is a myth that you will have privilege in society when you have white skin. Although time flies, the concept of beauty doesn't stop. Sugani 2016 believed that the myth of Indonesian beauty is having perfect physical characteristics such as having a sexy, slim body and a symmetrical body with a white skin and fashionable. And the next is on the methodology. In doing my research, I designed it by applying a qualitative method to analysis advertisement. For my primary data, the source for my research are the first is Vaseline UV Extra Brightening published in 2021, and the next is Vaseline Healthy Fresh and Fair, which published in 2018, and the research procedure. Firstly, I watch Indonesian Vaseline ads repeatedly, and secondly, screenshot the interesting part to analyze, and the third, find out the cultural habit on the fashion Indonesia, and fourth, write up the findings, and fifth, the last is concludes the thesis writing. So the first data I used the Vaseline UV extra brightening ads. This is scene that I took from the YouTube, and I screenshot the important part. And Vaseline UV extra brightening tell the story that model A would dream of a vacation on the beautiful lake by riding a canoe, but the model is afraid of the sun because making her skin black and dull. This is evident by the voiceover and the word said kangen di aktivitas di luar tapi takut pulang. And then the model A using Vaseline UV extra brightening product with ingredients that brighten and whiten skin and making skin three times brighten. Furthermore, model A with her friends can be riding a canoe with a loose clothes without fear anymore. And then the second data from the Vaseline Healthy White Fresh and Fair advertisement tells the story that model A and B are getting ready to go, but before going to outside, they use body lotion. The model A on the right side uses Vaseline Healthy White Fresh and Fair, and then model B on the right uses Lotion X. And then they go to the beach to play skateboard, but on the sand. After playing, model B's hands are full of sticky sand, but while model A still clean. And they continue to watch a music concert in the outdoor, and it turned out that the confetti from the event stuck in the model's hands. And meanwhile, model A still clean and enjoying the music. This is because Vaseline does not leave a sticky after use. And then I go straight to the result and discussion. In the
You have
in the
3
section
minutes,
to
okay?
answer.
3 minutes.
To answer the problem formulation, I get analysis that the use of mixing Indonesia and English in the Vaseline advertisement. A mixed language is intercultural encounter found in Vaseline UV extra brightening and Vaseline white fresh and fair advertisement, such as kangen aktivitas di luar, tapi takut belang, and then lebih cerah 3 kali. And then on the Vaseline fresh and fair advertisement, there are the words say coba pengalaman baru. And then Vaseline insert English language such as active niacinamide and Lotion X. And the ads title that uses English. Vaseline product as a multinational company incorporate element of global culture into advertisement by using English, which is intended to make the audience know and get used to global culture, especially Western culture. And then The next that I find from the two advertisement is Western culture activities as advertising inspiration. From these three images, the Vaseline advertisement provide activities such as canoeing, skateboarding, watching music concert, which are not part of the original Indonesian culture. However, to have a local culture, they use setting that describe the beauty of Indonesia, such as the lake and the beaches. According to Paul, said that 4 ways can be done to respond to the global culture. According to this discussion, this is a choral pattern. Choral pattern is a absorption of foreign culture by maintaining itself by changing its content. And the left is the hijab model shows Indonesian culture majority religion of Islam. Hybrid culture is an effort made by Vaseline to maintain local identity. The negotiation process takes place by equalizing two culture elements in the one place. One of the efforts to represent local Indonesia culture is by equalizing with a global entity. Indonesia, with a population which is 87.2% is the Muslim. The characters for women used to hijab and the clothes that cover all part of the body. However, Vaseline has provided product for women who use hijab to be more comfortable using Vaseline body lotion. And I move to the conclusion that I got from the analysis. The first is Vaseline UV Extra Brightening and Vaseline Healthy White Fresh and Fair advertisement display a Western identity but still touch local identity. The secondly, Vaseline products which are product originating from America can be accepted locally and globally. And the thirdly, as a product hybridity, it seeks to negotiating between local and global, a strategy to maintaining local identity at the global level. The use of English and the activities carried out by the model can show that Vaseline products are multinational products that bring all the foreign culture into the country, but still maintaining local culture by using the Indonesian language and the location setting that describe the natural beauty of Indonesia. And the last is from the housing, from the Vaseline UV Extra Brightening and Vaseline Healthy White Fresh and Fair, many of them are dominated by Western culture. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fabiola. Okay, so we will move to our next, Mr. Arya Jati.
Nora?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I cannot hear your voice.
Okay, check. Check. Hello. Can you hear? Okay, Mr. Arya Jati is ready. You may start, sir. You have 15 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, we cannot hear you, sir. You are still unmute.
Check, check,
Okay, we can hear you now.
check, check. Is it audible now?
Yes.
Dear committee?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, for your committee, steering committee, for the opportunity given to me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to apologize for the technical issue I had this just before the presentation time. This morning I checked and it went well, but suddenly it went off. Perhaps something just got it, but I took already some time to pace it up. Right, I'd like to present for this very good moment about this Luis Capaldis before you go, to promote students' feeling and identity. And then, all right, so it starts off with the discussion with Professor Lam in 2010 Boston TESOL conference that teach in new languages assist in segmenting of new words due to the motivational and structuring properties of song. And here, the song lyric Before You Go is a song for Indonesian students I am teaching right now. It's a foreign song for because it has this lyrics written in English. Actually, Capaldi himself is Scottish, so he uses English to 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 express the lyric. But then for a real practice, I've taken the liberty to introduce this song to apply this song to the few students English proficiency skills, and it has this published already. It's a joint research actually, and for this study I am presenting right now, I am proposing that the song can be used also to induce positive trait, even though perhaps we all know that from the dictions, from the choice of words that Capaldi chose, many words are categorized as sad, low-lay feeling. It is expected then, yeah, to be used, the song lyric to induce positive trait, yeah. And this study is carried as an applied research from the theory of therapeutic effect from Geoff Hall's stylistics and Tim Murphy's music and song concept about this positive feeling, and then also textual analysis. So it involves, according to Betty, it involves the researcher, my interpretation here of the song, and it adopts Geoff Hall's perspective on stylistics in a foreign language context. So basically, this is intended to describe the style actually, how Capaldi set the figurative language to express his sadness about unexpected or unwanted situation. Dear ladies and gentlemen, perhaps we must have been familiar with the song, and once or second times we've been listening to the song, and it sounds like the song, it is harmonized, but it also promotes elegy, yeah, feeling of loss. But the style that we are a teacher here to promote is to manage the feeling of loss, maybe tragedy, into another types of emotion, to build up confidence, and then heading for the future. So it is stated in BBC Learning English that people like sad music. What people like more about sad music is its therapeutic effects. Without any medical treatment, people cure themselves by listening to sad songs. So it is expected that by listening to before you go, people will finally let go the feeling of loss, let go everything, and feeling of regrets, of course, we have because we didn't do anything we could have done. But of course, a lot of a number of reviews of Capaldi's himself as well as the lyric could be stated here. For example, The Guardian, yeah, he dismissed his breakup, of course, yeah. Someone being loved and then suddenly it is breakup. Well, we know that it is not a breakup until we broke up. It is sad then, but the louder it sounds within ourselves, the louder we sing, and then the louder the crowd sing with him, according to the Guardian. And Rolling Stone then also says, based on his interview with him, that Capaldi says, if you're honestly going to analyze your own shortcomings as someone in a relationship, you have to have a laugh at yourself. Yeah, it looks like perhaps we don't mean to descend ourselves here, but when we are feeling low, it is time to look down and know that we are somehow it's not maybe good as uh, could have uh, been thought of. Okay, that is the message according to the interview. And then now it's about the song itself, the song lyric. Uh, According to this Adams, the journalist from Expose, he says that he writes in this article about Before You Go that in the lyric there's a sense of guilt about what was not said and not done, a sense of something being incomplete. Yeah, after all, after all, you're not perfect. Yeah, okay. So this really feeling of realizing that imperfectness makes us perfect should encourage the student. So a breakup is normal because we should, as a teacher in the classroom, as a lecturer, then in in, in the classroom as well, that a breakup should not hamper their study period. Uh, Even a breakup in the middle of writing their undergraduate thesis, for example, it happened though multiple times, personally speaking. But then it cannot stop us from writing, from finishing the study. All right, let me continue then with another from this a review, online this review. Then it says that Before You Go is a song about all the things Louis could have said and done to his friend who is no longer with them now. And so we didn't do we have wished, but yeah, we then it is time to let everything go. We should uh, teach or like read more about the lyric figuratively to promote the strength. Yeah, and then also another from online music market, the central trend. Capaldi expresses that he feels as if he is someone responsible for his loved one's death, and now he wished he could go back in time and contribute, um, but he could not. So yeah, still feeling the guilt of the guilt uh, haunts every time and everywhere. But students need to uh, fill up the confidence as well. So that is why I this is this adopts Murphy's activity that intended to encourage fluency not only in linguistic, but also this meta-linguistic about this feeling. Okay, that it's more than just we know how to say uh, yeah. Okay, and also the activities and from recording to discussion, and then discussion is tended to generate empathy. We know the feeling of loss, but somehow we need to go on. Okay, so three things we can get from the discussion is that the song lyric can be used to review students' English proficiency skill, both receptive and productive. Yeah, and then the song lyric can also be used to delve into students' inner selves. Yeah, I'm already soft reminded by the committee. All right, 30 more seconds. All right, then the song lyric should be directed to promote the student's true identity, that you are strong, yeah, and then honest feelings, move on, and then be brave. Yeah, okay, and then as the conclusion, my conclusion about this song lyric is that the song lyric should be considered good. Yeah, to build strength from within the students themselves. So the strength comes within the students themselves, not from us. Yeah. So we should make up the lyric, the words to build the strength. And then the song lyrics should be used to generate the students' empathy. Yes, of course. So care. So by sharing, it shows that we are caring. Yeah. And then the song lyric promotes not only classroom learning, of course, yeah, not only uh, verb tenses, for example, uh, present and past tenses, but also personal understanding. Uh, it is not only listening to the song, but also listening to the message uh, behind, in between the lines of the lyric. Thank you very much for the steering committee and ladies and gentlemen for your kind attention. And I'm returning to the committee. Right now, I'm going to stop sharing this presentation.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Yajati. And we've come to the question and answer session. If you have any question, you may raise your hand or type your question in the chat room.
Or if anyone wants to ask directly, it's possible. I would like to ask to Pak Arya, if I may.
Of course, of course.
Okay. I'm
Yes,
interested in the theory that you are using to analyze the song. Can you elaborate more and the steps that we should be doing when using that theory to analyze it? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Mas Ika. It's one more time. Let me remind. reply one more time. It's a unapplied. It is intended to be an applied research. So it comes from the theory, okay, and then it brings it is brought back to the classroom practice. So I am using right now this book entitled Music and Songs, and so adopt here on page 61, using songs, and so it's actually the song is not it's not about he says he says here. The song is not about these words, but it can also be about feeling. It has it contains actually, but perhaps feeling in between quotation mark. But when I managed to put it in the classroom context, um, normally I go with this English proficiency score first. So it's the surface level. So from the receptive, reading, and then listening, and then to productive, and then writing. So for example, short paragraph about what is the lyric about in your own opinion, and then also about speaking. Then by telling, if you were in their shoes, or in the Capaldi's shoes, what would you do? All right, by that. So the empathy I'm trying to induce to the students is by the quotation that we will put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, and then by having this listening, reading, and then writing and speaking cover. I'll be continuing the practice into this discussion about the central theme. Perhaps the student would say that it's a breakup. Perhaps it's a breakup, and the boy want the girls back. Yeah, but of course, only after the interview with some, of course, related sources, the Rolling Stones, people, and then Daily Telegraph, and then we found out that it's about a suicide, not necessarily about the action of taking one's life out, but it's about the feeling of uh, letting go of an unwanted event. So we are going to discuss this more in detail, and I think this should be personal, or let me say individual. So among students, it's an average students, perhaps even a female student may answer that um, she disagrees that it's about that. She only says that she could say that the song is only about uh, the boy or her ex-boyfriend didn't want to fight for her, so that is why she dumped him. So even students could say such things, but yeah, it is uh, as as a lecturer, my portion was that to neutralize, so that indeed, yeah, I let go. Students expresses everything concerning the song, because it is not written, it is not regulated. It's just the way students reacted to the song lyrics, and even after the song lyric, and then it covered with the music. We, we have a number of versions, yeah, even with only solo piano, and even with only a solo guitar and acoustic guitar. It is enough to promote that feeling. My proportion to to this title, to this study, is that this personality is that should be students need to be themselves, right? So in other words, we should be yourself, no matter what has happened to you, or no matter what they say to you about what you missed, what you didn't do in the past. So in short, I'd like to divide the session into this with the Englishness, okay, and then with the emotion. So I'd like to categorize that into two boxes. Let's say.
Thank
I
you so
hope.
much. Yeah.
I hope. I hope. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Arya. We also have question for Miss Fabiola. Miss Fabiola, can you answer the question?
Uh, Thank you for Mr. Tangguh from UGM. I will answer. I think there are many non-feminine products in advertisement, such as maybe such as you see 1,000 advertisement. Uh, they are always uh, give a beautiful a beautiful scenery from Indonesian, such as in UC font UC 1,000. They always show the beautiful scenery from Indonesia, but uh, in other hand, uh, they show about the model from the foreigners, and I think from the non-feminine product, others maybe is a lot from culture habitity, but uh, yeah, I don't see many advertisements, so I just know about UC 1,000 advertisement. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you.
That's all the question for the presenters. If there is no question anymore, we will have 5-minute breaks. And please to stay here and see you in 5 minutes. Thank you.
For Pak Tangguh, it's okay to start trying out the share screen. We can start earlier. We don't have to wait until 11:35.
Okay, we will continue with our presentation. I will call Mr. Vincentius Tangguh.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for the time.
You may share the screen, sir. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. Today, I'm going to talk about my preliminary observation from my class. That I do hope I can make more observation and I can incorporate them into much bigger research. Before I move further, I'd like to first talk about from where I got the data. The data is from my students of English students of Bulgarian National College of Gajah Mada, Universitas Gajah Mada. What is the college? It's basically same as usual university model, like we have KKN, thesis writing, and all. We put special emphasis on practical skills required. And then the class that they attended is for content and copywriting class. They learn how to the vocabulary, themes related to different industries. You are dealing with advertisement for the government, it will be different from current industries in Indonesia. One way or another, you'll see ideas of family related to the product, even though you are selling an SB. So that's example how different themes appear in this. What is expected from the students? Students are able to create a piece of writing, a copy that can help their audience to transport them to the imagination of the writer. In other words, to create a compelling story that engages the audience, stories that make the audience want to get involved and to read more. Now, what is the catch? Copywriter with experienced copywriters will have no problems transporting the audience. There is no temporal, spatial limitation for them. They can write a piece of writing. Ideally, they can write a piece of writing about war 200 years ago in Europe, for example, for an audience here, but the audience can feel that they are transported to the battle scene 200 years ago in Europe. That's the power of transportation. Now, our students are not there yet. Okay, and then to add more challenges, we also now live in an age where artificial intelligence is getting better. Automatic journalism. I've seen an application that can create news by itself in Bahasa Indonesia. That's crazy, and it was years ago. So now it's better. Artificial intelligence is getting better. If you read news created by artificial intelligence, aggregated news, you will feel that it's human. That's a challenge for our students. So our goal is to minimize the gap between our current, their current skills to the expected skills, so that they are ready to work in the field that they are supposed to work in. Now, we've been in our department, we've been experimenting with different topics to help them to create compelling stories that can transport audience. Now, I'm going to highlight two topics that I believe it is interesting. The first, we pick folklore. My assumption is that folklores are already famous. Students are already familiar with folklores, including different version of it from different regions, part of the country, of the nation. And then other assignment, the basis for the ideas for the writing is personal experience. And we assume that this is students' assumption, that they feel that their life experience is so-so, and there is nothing interesting about that. Now, mind you that before I tell them to write stories based on folklores, I also give them ideas how to make it interesting, how to put twists. If you are familiar with the story of Roro Jonggrang, for example, of it, or if you're not, okay, it's she is a princess cursed into a stone statue because she created a plot against the plan to marry a person. Basically, she refused to marry that person. To do that, she devised difficult requirements. And then, well, turned out she was considered cheating, and she was cursed into stone. So I told before I told my students that this story is based on winner of the war. You see, that guy, the princess is supposed to marry to, is the winner of the war by killing the prince's father. So Roro Jonggrang is forced to marry a guy who killed her father. You can, and then I told my students, you could put a twist in it. Instead of cursing to stone, you can also focus on that, on how she would feel being forced to that kind of person. I already told them, okay. And then the other assignment for personal experience, of course, as I wrote here, they have assumption that their personal experience is not that interesting. And in all copywriting classes, this is what the model to write a copy. We use these inverted pyramids. It means that important information should be placed right in front. So from the very beginning of the article, readers will be able to spot important information. This is a long-running practice in newspaper, online, offline, magazines. This is a practice. And the idea is that to enticing information already in front, making people want to continue reading, and then they will continue to read perhaps until almost the end. And then I expect them also to create headlines with leads. Headlines and leads should be connected, and to develop headlines and leads, we use this model on the right side of the screen, of your screen, with questions, W and H questions, what happened, where, when, and so on and so on. This is the diagram, the tools for them to help themselves create, give them options of possible headlines and leads. Leads are important. Leads is basically a capsule of information, a summary of the content of the news. And then I make comparison. I make comparison here. Okay, I have more or less 80 students, and then it's been running for 2 semesters, different classes, different years. But I see kind of similar result. I only took one class only. Okay, so it's more or less like 31 students. As you can see here, there are lines, breaking up lines. It's 1 or 2 students failed to submit, therefore they don't have grades. But as you can see here, the yellow line representing the folklore, and then the orange lines grades for them when after they did the writing based on personal experience. So basically, this is a comparison of grades after they did the folklore and personal experience. Except for student number 3, who failed to submit on time, very late, so deducted his, I'm not going to say the sex, just his or her grade was deducted. But as you can see here, in general, grades that the students could make when they wrote a piece of news based on personal experience is higher, consistency higher than the grades they made when they wrote stories based on folklores. And then those assignments were within the same half of semesters, the second half of semester. So it's not the first one is the first half of the semester, the second one the second half of the semester. No, they are in the same half of the semester. So it means they are not apart. That makes them absorb more information later and improve. It's not that apart, far apart in terms of time. Now, I can draw several after having discussion with group with students, of course. Okay, then there are several suggestions that I can make. When I observe the works on folklores, students seems to be unable to escape from the plots from the prescribed storyline in the folklores. It seems very difficult for them to see the same story from different angles. So it's like there is a trapping situation. They cannot escape from the plot, from the prescribed plot. And then as a result, what they submit is almost similar product. But when they submit the personal experience-based news stories, it's more interesting. And then after discussion in class, it turns out that they have discussion with other people also involved in the same situation. As a result, they have borrowed perspective from others, helping them to create more compelling stories that can help audience transport them to the event, and stories that can make audience want to continue to read. And then, as a conclusion, it's not the final conclusion because this is an ongoing research that I'm doing, that students seems to be unable to escape from the singular perspective prescribed by the folklores, inherently already there, and students cannot successfully picture the same event from different perspective. Of course, it has something to do with experience, but that's the thing. We want to give them experience, sandbox that can help them to be a better writer. Now, when it comes to personal experience-based news story, they receive feedback from others, from people who experience that together with them, from other people who did not experience that with them, but they provided feedback. For example, they told the story to their roommate, and then the roommate says something, and that gave them ideas how to see the same event from different perspective. So, sources of information. One student, in this case, also wrote, when I told them to write news story based on personal experience, one student wrote based on popular news on media. The news is about SUV driver went crazy, and it was went crazy because the person was startled because a truck behind that person suddenly honked him, and then they had a brawl. The news story that produced by that student, well, we can say the same as folklore case. The student cannot escape from the perspective already prescribed in the news. In other words, it's difficult for students to see it and compile a story using sources that the person can get and offer something compelling. It's just a copy, that's it. Now, I'd like to show you an example of that. Okay, the left one, this is from the same, exactly the same students, but you can see differences here. The left one is about folklore. The right one is about personal experience. And if you read this, okay, I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute to read. I lied, not 1 minute, because it will be too long. But if you read this, if you have time to read this, the story is very simple. It's just something that some of us might also experience that. But that is the trick. Students are able to produce news interesting to read, although the content is something simple, something that most students, some of us, may also have that kind of experience in their life. Other students write about missing nail clipper. Why nail clipper is always missing when they need one, but when they don't need one, the nail clipper is suddenly there. Some students also write about that, and then this is interesting. So it is interesting to observe that as a teacher, expecting students to be able to create compelling story, writing stories based on personal experience help students produce better piece of news. Because this is, I expect this to be part of bigger research, I expect that I have more information that can help prepare our students for their job later. We are preparing future copywriters. As I told you before, challenges are there. Challenges posed by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can write as good as human. In fact, in one of the researches, people consider article written by artificial intelligence as fair, and indistinguishable from human. That's a challenge for us. But we believe that it's not about beating the machine, but it's about doing the best that students can, and then they can produce when they can produce compelling news, then they can apply that to different industries that we plan them to be able to do in government, in industry, car industries, for example, and so on and so on. Yes, we believe that there's good news in it, because it turns out, according to the research, that stories created by artificial intelligence, when it comes to giving ideas, artificial intelligence is considered biased. Compared to human, it is not article created by human is not considered biased. It's about it's a result of research. Okay, and then the research that I was talking about is here. I already enlisted that, and of course you will be able to see that when you see the file later on. Yes, thank you. I try to make it less than 50 minutes.
Yes, your 15 minutes is up. Thank you, Mr. Vinicius Tangguh. Okay, we will move to our next presenter, Miss Nivita Hante.
Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Miss. Can hear you.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And for the record, it's still ongoing study. So please excuse all the shortcomings. And the title is The Impact of Online Media on English Language Acquisition of Indonesian Student. English Education Postgraduate Program, Manado State University, Indonesia. In the introduction, in these recent years, with our constant usage of online media, with our constant usage of online media, we unconsciously acquire new things from it, such as new information, cultures, trends, new languages, which in this case is English, as it is the international language of science and technology. It significantly affects our education, including English language learning. The objective of the study was to find out the impact of online media on students' English language acquisition. And the methods, qualitative and quantitative methods, were both used in the study. A questionnaire was administered in order to find out about the impact of the usage of social media on English language acquisition of Indonesian students. The number of participants involved in this study were 58 students from SMA Negeri 1 Manado, SMA Unclub Air Madidi, SMA Negeri 1 Tomohon, and SMA Yadika Kopandakan Kota Mobagu. The age of participants ranged from 14 to 17 years old. Furthermore, due to COVID-19 health procedure, the participants were only asked to fill out an online questionnaire using Google Form. The questionnaire consisted of 4 questions that use both English and Bahasa Indonesia. And the questionnaire, the first one, have you ever used Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or other online media in Indonesia? And the second, which online media do you use to improve your English skills? Next, do you think those apps make your English better? And the last one, which of your English skills is improved thanks to online media? The finding for the question 1, have you ever used Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, or other online media in Indonesia? From 58 respondents, 100% of the answer is yes. And question number 2, which online media do you use to improve your English skills? And the answer from 58 responses, 32.8% use Facebook, and 15.5 Twitter, 62.1% use Instagram, 29.3 TikTok and other online media, 59.9%. Question number 3, do you think those apps make your English better? If so, why? And the answer, 4% of students consider that social media doesn't help them to enhance their English skill. 6% thinks that it might be beneficial, and the majority of the students, 90%, believe that online media is very helpful for them in improving their English proficiency. The reason mostly because the application use English language, and also there are a lot of content they see and hear in online media, such as videos, songs, memes, news, pictures, and jokes that were made using English language by native English speaker, and it's very helpful for them. Some students also stated that they like using online media because they are able to connect with foreigner whose language is English, and they can learn from them. And question number 4, which of your English skills is improved thanks to online media? 58 responses, 70.7% reading, 51.7% listening, 44.8% speaking, and writing 32.8%. And the conclusion, the purpose of the study was to find out the impact of social media on students' English language acquisition in Indonesia. The students who participated in the study showed a positive response toward the usage of social media for their English learning. Thus, after having applied the questionnaire and calculating the data, the following conclusions are listed. 100% of the participants is familiar with accessing online media in Indonesia. The most used application for the participants to improve their English language is Instagram, 92.1%, followed by online games and web, 56.9%, Facebook, 32.8%, TikTok, 29.3%, and Twitter, 15.5%. 4% of students considered that online media doesn't help them learning English. 6% thinks that it might be useful, and the majority, 19, believe online media is very beneficial for them. The English skill that is most influenced by learning from online media is reading, 70.7%, then followed by listening, 51.7%, speaking, 44.8%, and writing, 32.8%. That's all from me.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So I guess we can move to our next presenter, Mr. Antonio Suratno, PhD. Can you share your screen, sir?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Anton.
Okay, thank you. Right, your virtual audience, is my voice audible? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
thank
can.
you. All right, so I am the last speaker in this slot of time, I guess. My name is Antonio Suratno. People generally call me Anton. All right, I'm gonna present my paper, yeah, through my PPT. So here is the title of my presentation: Technologically Assisted Blended Learning in the COVID-19 pandemic time. Mamika, is my PowerPoint already on?
No, we don't see your PPT.
I asked the committee to present because I'm presenting it via.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have only just got this information now. Let me try to help.
Okay, so a little bit delay. Sorry then. Yeah, so I am in the situation where my gadgets are slightly troublesome in one and better in another, and therefore it's not the ideal place where I am presenting my slides. So is it already on now, Mamika? Not yet. Already?
Yes.
Okay. So as you can see on the first slide, the title is Technologically Assisted Virtual Blended Learning in the COVID-19 Pandemic Time. Probably the precise title should be Virtual Blended Learning in the COVID-19 Pandemic Time. So out of the title, you probably can already guess why my title is Virtual Blended Learning in the COVID-19 Pandemic Time. So my presentation will probably pretty brief. It will only consist of 3 parts: introduction to BL, which is probably already very familiar to most of the audience, and technology and blended learning, and then perspective on over. Yeah, you can see from the 3 points I'm gonna presenting, it doesn't reflect that my presentation, my title, my papers is a research-based paper where I present the data and conclude something out of the data that I generated in my study. The reason why I do so, because this is actually part of my literature review, as part of my research project funded by Directorate of Pendidikan Tinggi Indonesian Republic in the last 2 years, in the title of Explorations of Developing Augmented Reality-Based Game for Blended Learning. So blended learning is only a part of my research in the last 2 years. And I want to present it here to provide perspective instead of presenting data. That's why I don't end up my study with conclusion, because I won't conclude anything here. I simply want to over perspective. Yeah, that's the reason why only 3 points I'm going to present. Okay, so when it comes to blended learning, as I said, majority of us is already familiar. Okay? It is an approach to education that began to be popularized in around 1998, which in fact developed what Sir Isaac Pitman, who launched the first distance education course in around 1940s, pretty long time ago, almost 80 years ago, where distance learning began to be introduced, but not in Indonesia for sure, because Indonesia began to know, began to be familiarized with internet in the very early 2000. I remember it was around 1999 when internet was beginning to be introduced on computer, and everything was very slow at that moment. So blended learning combines online education, materials, and opportunities for interaction online with traditional based classroom methods. So the look of blended learning in the past, around in 1998 until the last few years, I think people still see it in a very traditional way, in the sense that what is meant by blended is totally virtual face-to-face physical encounter between teachers and students, and combined with anything added out of the richness, out of the wealth of the internet, out of the computer technology, the mobile gadgets, etc. and so on. That's what's called blended learning in the past. People sometimes call it brick and mortar. Combinations of brick and mortar in the past is brick face-to-face and mortar is online learning. That's the look in the past. Then a question arises as regard to whether the blended learning itself remain compatible when now, in the last 2 years particularly, we are compelled to stay at home, to study in front of the computer, in front of the gadget. Teachers are compelled to sit in his own room at home, especially during PKM. Yeah, we are staying at home, and we are teaching in a virtual way. Then, is it really relevant then when we talk about blended learning compared to the original traditional meanings of blended learning in the past. Yeah. So the thing that in the past it was referred to the use of computer combined with face-to-face. Yeah, making it the advantage of maximizing the advantages of internet devices, multimedia facilities, digital textbook, online quizzes, etc. and so on. Is it now still compatible? This is the stepping stone where I want to offer my perspective. Yeah. So blended learning in that particular moment of time, I guess we slightly have to understand it in a new different way, mainly because that in a virtual environment where we are not facing people face to face, and in fact, actually we are still facing face to face, in spite of the fact that the face to face is not real, actual, but instead it is virtual. But still, we still can call it face-to-face because when we are teaching using our computer or our gadget, yeah, we open our camera and allow our students to follow us, to listen to us, and to discuss anything, any topics that is relevant to a particular subject. Then, in fact, it is also face-to-face, in spite of the medium. Yeah, the medium is different for sure. So I would want to highlight that now what we mean by face-to-face is slightly moving from real face-to-face into virtual one, and therefore if it talks about actual mentoring or tutoring, then it becomes e-mentoring or e-tutoring. Like you see here on the screen, you have 3 circles over there, so it is actually the combination of online collaborative learning and virtual face-to-face learning as well, and self-paced learning, I guess. Yeah. What makes blended learning works in both mode, yeah, traditional or the recent one during pandemic time? There are some characteristics that makes the blended learning itself work. So essentially, both are the same in the sense that it requires teachers and students a customization. So we have to make things custom. We make our students accustomed to the new way of delivering materials or using the materials. And it is integration. It is still the integration because we can also present our material despite being virtual, and we integrate with any richness or the wealth of the technology. And a good blended learning obviously have to have a purpose, and flexibility is also another key word, and redundancy. What is meant by redundancy is that it requires scaffolding from the side of the teachers in the event that the students might get distracted, get confused, don't understand the point. So redundancy is a matter of scaffolding, helping, yeah, assisting. That's redundancy. So I think I need to just jump over it. Okay, blended learning, the types of models. Okay, now what's actually underlies the blended learning? Here is some of the theory that might be relevant. Yeah. So as I said just now, the goal of blended learning approach is to combine the best aspects of face-to-face, which is now virtual face-to-face, and online. Yeah. So classroom time can consist of anything which is actually teacher students or students, okay, or even individual students, okay, on the portion required by the topics, the materials, etc., designed by the teachers. Okay. Now, why blended learning? Yeah, in this COVID-19 pandemic time is still relevant, in my opinion. Yeah, especially where technology now seems to be the dominating of the predominant media or media that helps people to learn. Okay, because BL, blended learning, is able to personalize learning. That's the point number one. Second one, it is potential to every individual progress. As you know, the advantage of technology, in the virtual one, and the advantage of technology, anything on technological stuff, is changing the sphere or the world of direct contact between people. And in some way, actually, it caters for more different learning styles. In the past, there is a problem of different learning styles. Someone who doesn't like, someone who is audio, maybe easy for them to get a lecture, to listen to the teachers, but not for someone who is visual, not for someone who is textile. But with the internet, with all the advancement of technology, students now can choose out of many options, because everything presented in technology now seems to be multimodal. What is meant by multimodal is that students can choose whichever mode they are compatible to their own learning styles. So they can work out something out of visual, audio, or textile, whatever, that can help them learn the best, which was difficult to cater in real face-to-face encounter. Okay, second one, it has been found out that many researchers said that students' characteristics, especially those who are introverted, someone who is not outspoken, who are shy, they are helped much with the existence or the presence of technology. Obviously, there is a plus and minus of this, but in that particular point, technology is strong in allowing those who are silent, those who are shy, those who are introverted to express themselves. That's the finding reported by previous researchers. I don't mention who, but everybody already know that. Okay. So it improved training cost, effective training for any learning styles. That's the emphasis of my point. Okay. Secondly, we are living in industrial revolution era. Everybody know what it means. Okay, so we are now in the fourth industrial revolution, aka Industry 4.0, which takes the automatization and computerization we saw in many different realm of life. It's part of the development of industrial revolution, which began some 100 or more years ago. So with this technology, with this revolution, then technology itself become a means by which every human activities, including learning, can be assisted, and we can take the technology into a maximum potential, into its maximum potential. That's the idea of industrial revolution 4. So I would say just now that with the pandemic situation, we are so lucky compared to people who might now still live in pre-technological era. So among the audience who used to live in year 1970s up until 1990s, okay, and then like me myself, I used to study in the university in 1980 something, and I just cannot imagine if pandemic time happened at that time. I can bet that everybody will have to stop. No education can continue because there is no way for people to deliver materials when people are put in distant place. Okay. So I would bet no education can run. We are now almost already 1.5 years. In the moment of pandemic, where we are delivering and doing activity of learning virtually. So we can imagine how hard it is if we are in 1970s, 1980s. Okay. Next one. This is the look of what students are doing. most of the students are doing like that. Yeah, maybe they have their own gadget of mobile, like mobile phone, or maybe their tablets and their laptops, etc. They all the three all together at the same time. Okay, so in that virtual environment, then blended learning should change the look into sort of thing like this. Okay, so blended learning should be virtual. It is collaborative. It is thing that can be teacher led. It can be personal online learning. It can be individual, and all blended together into collaborative or small group or online lecturing or individual learning, etc. and so on. Yeah. So I just want to skip it probably. Yeah, brick and mortar. I already talk about it just now. So the real look of blended learning in that particular face-to-face direct encounter between teachers and students then become kinds of virtual learning. And what we do before we actually go to virtual learning, what students do and what teachers should be preparing. And then we move on to the cycle of what the teachers and what the students are doing during the virtual learning. And finally, what the last one in the cycle here is what is next after they come to the virtual class. They might end up with virtual assessment, virtual quizzes, virtual discussion, group discussion and presentation with groups, etc. And so there are so many activities that can be done virtually. All right. So like me, who is already almost 60 years old, yeah, I'm among the generation, who was born in the earlier generation compared to the millennial who are now dominating the generation right now. When the pandemic began, I remember back then, I feel it was so challenging to switch from face-to-face into totally virtual. Everybody feel it, I guess, yeah, especially those who are already aging, yeah. Okay, it takes time to learn a new thing. It takes time to learn the technology. It takes time to learn the Moodle, to learn cyber, etc., and so on. How to prepare materials online, how to save materials online, how to prepare quizzes, how to prepare the scoring, the quizzes, how to download and upload materials, etc., and so on. There are so many things people had to learn at the beginning of the pandemic time. Everybody feel it, I guess. But over time, everybody begin, that's actually people can learn, yeah. So this is a perspective I offer in my presentation. So, okay, point 3, I guess, Ma'am Eka, yeah. So, well, partly I have already touched upon how we finally can blend our learning via virtual learning, yeah. Yeah, we just now see from the cycle, just now 3 cycle, yeah. We can use wiki, we can use blogs, we can use discussion format, we can use our social media, we can use our WhatsApp, we can use our Instagram, we can use YouTube, etc. And so on. There are so many learning platforms that people can be using in order for them to maximize the potential of the wealth of learning materials and available in the world, yeah, internet, yeah. So when it comes to quizzes, exercises, and so on, we now, I think, in some way we are so much assisted with the technology. I'm pretty pleased in the last 3 semesters, yeah. In the past, before the pandemic, I myself rely much of my examinations and quizzes on paper-based. And it takes time to do correction after the final exam or midterm exam. But with the technology, okay, it depends on how creative someone is in coping with that particular challenges. Yeah, yeah. I feel now that even I'm now more comfortable doing quizzes or examination online, because, well, if I have to make a correction, probably it is a minority part, especially when it comes to teaching translation or teaching writing. There is a small part where students have to show their capability to be able to express their ideas in written form, and in translation, they have to be able to solve the problems of complicated sentences. They have to write it down. But other than that, yeah, with creativity, we can design quizzes that allow the students to do it online. And then the correction is not necessary anymore, because once the examination is done, then the teachers is relaxed because the result is already shown on Cyber, etc. That's the magic of the technology. Okay, and second thing, things that need to be considered are, yeah, what is the situation of us, yeah, of your institution, of your subject, of your students, and then what course content you are facing. Yeah, is it something very theoretical? Yeah, if it is, then it is easy for you, because it is easy for us, because it's just enough for us to do brief lecturing. But the case is different when the materials require something more than that, because it requires a different trick. Yeah, probably this is the most challenging one in the virtual world, where anything requires search and investigation and experimentation, like laboratory works. Yeah, you can imagine if someone studying in medical schools, I just sometimes confuse or wonder, at least, yeah, how can they sort out their problems of experimenting something? That's probably the thing that the technology still cannot cope with. Yeah. But other than that, anything synchronous, asynchronous, anything simultaneous, unsimultaneous, anything lecturing, it can be easily imitated. It can easily be replaced by the technology, but not anything which has a characteristic of investigation and experimentation. Okay. Also depends on who the students are, where they are as well. Okay, so who they are, what levels, etc., and so on. We have to consider those three: the situation, the content, and who the students are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it is just the thing that I need to offer as well. Okay. Virtual face-to-face maybe should be the minimum one. Another one can be, yeah, any other activities. Yeah. So yeah, these are the things that students can do. Yeah. Yeah, so it is the very last slide, I guess. I could do this graph. Yeah, it is illustrating the situation of right now. So blended learning in this very virtual mode, yeah, maybe look like this illustration. Yeah, so the blender is the machine in the middle, but around the blender machine, yeah, you find outside the blender, okay, no more physical building, yeah, where there is no more physical room where people can be sitting and discussing, writing on whiteboard, or etc. and so on. So everything is just on gadgets, on YouTube, on maybe Facebook, yeah, or probably Instagram, on yeah, global connection, Pinterest, etc., and so on. So we are blending all of them, yeah, to replace what in the past was presented physically and become virtually. Yeah, this is probably the perspective I offer. Yeah, so once again, apologize for not presenting the data. The data that I generated out of my data collections is reported elsewhere, so it's not presented here. So apology and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Antonius. Okay, that's we've come to our question and answer session. If you have any question, you can answer to the presenters.
Okay, Nora.
Yes.
Did you ask the audience to write on the chat so that it helps us to? Did you ask them to write on the live chat?
But the question.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can chat or just raise hands.
Mhm.
To ask by using voice.
There is still 5 minutes for question and answers. If there are no questions, we can also go directly to the next session. I give the opportunity to the moderator to organize.
Okay, thank you, Miss Eka. So we will start our last session. I will call Mr. Nasbun Egar as our next presenter. Are you ready, Mr. Egar? Hello? Okay, if you are not ready, maybe I will move to the next presenter, which is me. Okay, I guess you can see my screen right now. Let me introduce myself again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you here virtually. My name is Katarina Maria Nora, and I'm the student of English Literature from Unika Sugio Pranoto. And here my topic for today is TikTok as a product of popular culture. And here I was helped by Miss Eka and Mr. Budi as my co-writer. So first, I'm going to ask you first, what did you do during quarantine? Well, we have been quarantined since 2020, right? So have you ever made dalgona coffee? How long did you whisk it? Because I did, and I know it from TikTok. And do you have any TikTok accounts? When did you make your TikTok account? Is it in 2020? Because I will start our discussion about TikTok. So we will talk about TikTok a lot here. It has brought a new trend to society because since pandemic 2020, the users has increased to up to 20%. So it becomes popular everywhere in the world. Because of that thing, TikTok is considered as a new trend which brings a new culture as well. And in this study, I formulated this question to answer why TikTok can be a product of popular culture. And without any further ado, let's move to the literature review. So our main topic here is TikTok, which made by Byte Inc. in 2016. It is an app which basically a social media to make a short video with some good music, and also they have an entertaining features inside. TikTok entered in Indonesia in 2017. But back then, maybe you are still know about Bowo. There were pros and cons about TikTok back then, and it's quite inappropriate for children because you know that sometimes the contents contain pornography, immorality, and religious harassment. And as a result, TikTok was blocked in July 3rd by Indonesia Ministry of Communication and Informatics. Well, according to Omar and Bikwan, TikTok provides the media for people to interact, archive videos, and show self-expression. Also, Kim and Barbara delivered that the function of TikToks can be for entertainment, education, and marketing. And the increase of TikTok users has made TikTok a popular culture. It grows rapidly in 2020 and become a popular culture. Well, popular culture is a culture that is adored by many people without looking into particular social class of origin. TikTok does not only provide entertainment, but also education and become an online marketplace. This can be the reason why TikTok is adored. On the other hand, it also became popular because it was popularized by TikTok stars, such as here I have Charlie D'Amelio, which has the most followers on TikTok. And these are the characteristics of popular culture. I will skip it. And since TikTok is a mass media, it has given a big influence on society. It is developed continuously to adapt to the different local culture and lifestyles. In 2020, TikTok hits a significant number and is known everywhere. This case has turned TikTok into a phenomenon which brings a new culture to society. So to collect this data, I'm using TikTok as a primary data source and Internet PDF articles also booked as a secondary data source. And the instruments used is questionnaire and interviews, which I spread to 35 respondents. And the method that I use to analyze the data is qualitative research. So here are the results and discussion. So Hesi Holland also said that there is a social media who developed in Indonesia, that is TikTok. Well, the answer from the 35 respondents. At the beginning, I found that TikTok became popular when the pandemic started in 2020. And my 35 respondents also, 66% respondents also make their TikTok accounts in 2020. So I agree that TikTok started popular in 2020. Respondents answer about the reason why they make TikTok are various. They were downloading TikTok because it was trending on 2020 and they curious what TikTok looked like. Also, they were towards girls dancing, and because basically TikTok is well known with its dance choreography. And also like these are the contents which most searched on TikTok. I also think because why TikTok is loved because once you like video on TikTok, the TikTok will give you the same video because it has an artificial intelligence which can provide the videos which match with our interest. For example, if you like a video about photography, then if you scroll it next, you will find another videos about photography or videography, and etc. So I have said that TikTok is loved because it is a popular culture. Well, it is true because 69% respondents are opening TikTok every day and 90% respondents said that TikTok is entertaining. So it has already become a social culture because it is a part of their life. So, if I connect it with the characteristic of popular culture before by Miss Ekawati, TikTok fulfill most of the criteria such as loved by many people. You can find TikTok users anywhere, or maybe one of your family members also use it. And a lot of celebrities also using TikTok. As you know that celebrities have a lot of followers. So what they do will be followed by their followers. This can be a sufficient way for TikTok to promote their application. It's also cheap, practical, and easy to get. You just download it in App Store or Google Play for free, and you just register yourself, and it will be done in a minute. Then you can enjoy TikTok. On the other hand, TikTok also creates a global local lifestyle. And what I can find about this is there is a Western music which remixed with Indonesian traditional music instrument. This must be good, right? Well, because 69% respondents open TikTok daily, which means it reflects people's daily life. But popular culture is temporary. If you remember BlackBerry, that is an example because BlackBerry, I think it's not popular right now, but it's very popular in 2011 and so on. We don't know how long this app will be last, right? Because like before TikTok, there was a similar app called Musical.ly, which started to gym since there was TikTok. And so here are my conclusion. So first, TikTok has brought a new culture since pandemic. It is true that TikTok has risen since pandemic because 66% respondents were downloading TikTok in 2020. I believe that TikTok is a product of popular culture because it is massively produced and adored by many people. It is supported by 69% respondents who open TikTok every day, and 97% respondents think that TikTok is entertaining. Well, I guess all of these arguments are enough to claim that TikTok is a product of popular culture. But that's all my presentation about TikTok for today. Thank you. Well, I think we can move to our next speaker.
Pak Ngasbun Egar is here.
Okay. Mr. Ngasbun Egar, you can
Yes, I'm here.
Start presenting. You can start sharing your screen.
Me? Okay. Thank you. Just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah. Right. Thank you for the chance given to me. Everybody, let me present my paper entitled "In-Text Citation, Employed in Writing Final Project Reports." I'm Ngasbun Egar from Universitas PGRI Semarang, and here I would like to present my paper. The background of this study would be citation in academic writing is significant for it provides the reader with an indication of the quality and authority of the material cited. Various citation, of course, various citations style can be employed by writers in developing their ideas, either in text or in end of text citation. Therefore, this study aimed at finding out the citation forms employed in writing final project report and in identifying the problems in employing in-text citation in writing report of selected final project. The literature review citation refers to the way acknowledge other writer's thoughts, ideas, influences his or her writing. Besides, citation in academic writing also counts a lot, of course. This is in line with some references which show that the credibility of the works in academic papers counts a lot. In text citations, that are inserted in the main text of paper. The purpose of these citations is to let the reader know from where a specific piece of information came. If in-text citations are not included, of course, the readers will be more likely to distrust the credibility of the author and the writer is in danger, yeah, of, for example, plagiarizing. Conventional remainder methods suffer from severe information loss. For example, they do not consider the section of the paper that the user is writing and for which they need to find citation, the relatedness between the word in the local context, yeah, the text span that describes citation, or the importance on each word from the local context. These shortcomings make such methods insufficient for recommending adequate citations to academic manuscript. There are talking about citations, especially when we refer to APA or APA format. Yeah, there are two types of in-text citations: parentheses, parenthetical citation, and narrative citation. By parenthetical citations, that those include the authors and the date of publication within parentheses, while narrative citations intervene the author as part of the sentence with the date of publication in parentheses following. The method in this study, the method used in the study was analytical qualitative method, in which note-taking technique was employed to collect the data. The data of the research were taken from selected final projects written by the English teacher candidates. The data was analyzed by identification of the citation forms and identification of the problems in the use of the in-text citation. And the results of the study was that there are two in-text citation forms employed by the writers. Those are parenthetical and narrative. By parenthetical, I quote an example here: process blah blah blah, process writing, planning, drafting, editing, and final draft. Yeah, hammer. Then here the quotation, the citation in parentheses. Yeah, and therefore we call it as parenthetical. Hammer, comma, and then 2004, for example. While narrative one, Hammer 2004 states that many traditional approaches fail to apply writing process in teaching writing. Yeah. And the second result of this research was that there are some problems in the use of in-text citation in writing report of selected final projects. Some of the several major problems were incomplete sentences, for example, and then the inconsistency in the use of citation format by those students. Here I take the evidence from what they have written down in their final project. For example, this one. Of course, I do not want to explain this all. But to put as an example, for example, Brown. Here, see the comma there, and then 2000 in parentheses 2001. This is indicate the page number 336 336. Writing is a thinking process. You see here there is no, what is it, this sentence is incomplete. the sentence is incomplete. Yeah, like for example, Brown says, yeah, or states, yeah, or according to Brown, writing is a thinking process, blah 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 blah. And here, the writer also put the citation again, yeah, after the sentence. Yeah, so they are doubled here. And then another example would be blah, 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 high schools until universities. Hammer, Jeremy, yeah. As you might know that in citation following the ABA format, yeah, we are suggested to use only the last name, yeah, of the writer. So here, Hammer, yeah, only hammer would be used here, yeah, only hammer would be used, but hammer and also the year and the date, yeah, the date, the year, and also the page number would be in parentheses, yeah, not like this, yeah. And of course, without colon here, yeah, without colon. The next example would be Nunan. Yeah, this is almost the same as this. Yeah, Nunan. Yeah, states. Yeah, for example, and I can also show you another example. Yeah, for example, the inconsistency of using this one. Yeah, like this one. This is somewhat complex. Yeah. Suparno, yeah, and then Ngalimun, and Al-Fulaila, 2014, yeah. Here, yeah, what is meant by the writer could be Suparno in Ngalimun and Aufalia, or they, yeah, Laila, yeah, in 2014, yeah, cited the work of Suparno. Yeah, the work of Suparno. And of course, the way to write is not like this. And therefore, from this study, it can be concluded that students have been, actually the students have been able to employ the citation systems with several, of course, but although with several problems, yeah, encountered, yeah, with several problems encountered, and therefore they need adequate assistance, yeah, from their teachers. Yeah, they need also some practice, yeah, adequate practice, efficient practice, yeah, in order that they can apply, they can employ well the citation formats or system. Well, that's all I can present. Thank you very much. I stop my share screen and I return back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will move to our last speaker. I will call Mr. Joni Effendi, MPT. Mr. Joni, are you there?
Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm in the same team with Mr. Joni, so we have discussed, and today I will present the paper.
Okay, sure. You may share screen.
Let me share the paper. Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see the slides. You have it.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Wanda Mulyawati, and I'm a fourth semester student of Borneo University of Tarakan. I'm majoring English Education Department. And now I'm going to present my paper about Can Gadget Manage the Classroom? So actually this paper written by the three of us. There are Mr. Joni Effendi and me, myself, Wanda Mulyawati, as the main author, and for the co-author, we have Aisyah. All right, so based on the circular of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education and Culture in 2020 regarding the implication of working and studying from home during the pandemic, so learning activities that were initially carried out in offline class must be replaced with online learning, is carried out at home to conduct a study with the aim of finding out can gadget manage the classroom and students' learning motivation during the pandemic. So basically, this is qualitative research. So this research that conducted online by using two instruments, which are Google Form for the questionnaire and Zoom for the interview. And for the questionnaire, we have two categories, namely gadget use and students' learning motivation that has 10 statements for each categories. And as for the interview, we asked about six questions about the students' response of e-learning. And the 110 respondents collected from 5 regencies in North Kalimantan, namely Tarakan, Malinau, Nunukan, Bulungan, and KTT. And from all of the respondents, there are 74 respondents which are non-addicted gadget. All right, so for the questionnaire result, it shows that 78% of the students agree that they are more active when studying in class. Another data is only 18% of students refuse to agree that learning in class gets them more focused. And in addition, there are 71% of respondents also claim that they are more comfortable doing offline learning. Plus, there are 63% of respondents feel that their grade do not improve during online class. And for the interview result, it shows that respondents realize that gadgets are essential for them since they enable them to communicate efficiently in long distance and participate properly, which cannot be found in confronting class. So, however, respondents consider that learning through gadget leads them to unsatisfied learning achievement. Also, the unmanageable given assignment drives them to stressful, which this condition brings them to conduct cheating. They also believe that they learn best when studying in the confronting class because they can learn with their friends. What is more, they miss the class situation. So now I will deliver the weakness and strength of the online class. So for the strength, online class only have two strengths, which is practicality and flexibility. So this is because they do not need to go to school for attending the class. They just need to join the meeting synchronously, or maybe joining the meeting in WhatsApp group, and then so they can do it in anywhere they are. And then for the second is increasing self-confidence. So some respondents feel more courageous to speak during online learning. This is because they do not need to deal with their peers and teachers face to face. That's why they can be more confident to speak during online class. And for the weakness, the first one is unclear material understanding. So this is because some teachers only ask them to read the material by themselves and give assignment without any explanation from the teacher first. And then the second one is providing slow response. When they ask question during online class, their question will be responded more slowly by some of their teachers and peers, sometimes even not responding at all if through a chatting application such as WhatsApp and Telegram. However, when they ask them in synchronous meeting application, just like Zoom, sometimes the voices of the teachers and peers are a little disturbed by the network instability, so they do not really understand about what they are explaining. And then the next one is leading to unmanageable assignment. So due to, so when learning online, almost all students give assignment in every meeting. So so they have difficulty for organizing their assignment, and also because of the lack of understanding material, students really hard to answer the question. And then the next one is driving to cheating chance. So due to the lack of understanding the material and the large number of assignment, students also prefer to use the fast way by copying the answer from internet. And then next, there is driving individual learners and eliminating peer teaching. So because students do online learning at home through gadget, it makes them rarely interact with their peers face to face. And because of this, they become an individualistic student. And because they do not meet each other and they cannot interact face to face, they can't do peer teaching with each other. And then the last one is distracted by internet connection. So because some of the respondents are from borderline area, which has really poor network. So when they are doing online learning, it's really often for them to be distracted by the unstable network. And that's why they cannot understand the material. Sometimes they cannot even join the class if it is through synchronous meeting application. All right, so it can be concluded that learning from home provides a greater weakness than strength. That is all from me. Thank you for the attention and good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wanda.
Okay, may I add, because we have still more time?
Oh, sure. I think you can type add.
Okay, Wanda, can you share your screen again? On the last on the last slide. Okay. Okay, actually this is our mini project with my students on our paper writing class. So I challenged my students to deal with this mini research and then having the article. And then it can be concluded that why these problems came out or arise because of educational culture shock. While as we know that in Indonesia, start from the what we call the kindergarten to the senior high school level, usually conduct or do the teaching and learning process confrontingly or face to face or physically. And by this pandemic era, suddenly switch virtual what we call it a virtual class. So that's why the unready mood, both the school community leads them to what we call unorganized. Hello?
Yes. Hello?
Could you hear my voice just now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry because okay. Okay, I need to add because actually this is our mini research project on my class paper writing. I challenge my students to conduct mini research and then make an article to be presented. And then I would like to add that this problem came up because of the educational culture shock. Why I said that? As we know that teaching and learning process, starting from the kindergarten to the senior high school level, usually conduct in face-to-face or physical setting. So that's why the pandemic suddenly switch the confronting class to virtual. So that's why the unready mood of the school community leads them to unsuccessful teaching and learning process. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnny and Miss Wanda. Well, I think that's all on our speakers. And now we've come to the question and answer session for our last session. If you have any question, you may type your question in the chat room, or you just can raise your hand so I can choose you to talk. Is there any question?
No.
Or if there is any presenters or participants who wants to add information, what kind of topics do you like? You can share your experience about our conference today.
Hey, hello, everybody. I think everybody is tired.
Hello.
Or maybe you are hungry. I'm sorry, we don't send Gojek food to your area. Okay. Well, I hope everybody is enjoying the seminar. You're welcome to go into other breakout rooms if you feel that you'd like to hear others in their presentation. You can also stay here and we can discuss anything which makes you become alive again rather than sleep. But our next session is actually around 1:30 or so. So it's up to this group. Shall we just take a rest, take a break, and then we all come back to the main room at around 1:30 or so? Or do you still want to be here and we can discuss lots of other things? We can use this forum to make new connections, make some kind of collaborative research. I'm sure that there are topics here which you are also interested and are hoping to make future connections with each other. Any suggestions from anyone here in this room?
Break, perhaps.
Yes, Brunita.
Yeah, I think we need a break for facing the next sessions.
Okay.
That's for me, I think.
Okay.
So,
If you are also in the same position with Ms. Nita, you're welcome to leave the room and you can come back to the main room by clicking on the same link to the seminar.
and if I will stay here, can I say, or later the seminar will be preliminary, right?
Yeah. If you are staying here,
Huh?
then we are going to close it at 1:30. This breakout room
Okay.
will be closed by 1:30. Everyone should be going into the main room by that time.
Okay. Okay.
Are there any other questions from the other participants here?
Main room doesn't show on the list.
Oh, you just leave room. You just leave room.
Just leave the room. Okay.
Yes. And you will be transported into the main room.
Okay. Where is it? Just a minute. Baby boomers. We'll see. Okay, leave room. Okay, thank you. Leave, take out.